Perfect. And then we can get started. Ms. Brissette, do you want to share your screen right away or?
I'll leave that up to you. If you want me to, I can share now, or if you'd like.
Yeah, no, you can share, I guess, while I'm talking. I just want to
Okay.
welcome everyone to our first Train the Trainer session. So these sessions are designed to help each community group's trainer learn the North Star system and understand what we will be doing moving forward. We're excited about the North Star system. It makes digital literacy and teaching digital literacy simple, which is really helpful. But so we have trainers from several groups here today, and we have another training session scheduled for Thursday for some more help. You only need to attend one, but you can attend both if you feel like you have more questions. But I just want to welcome you and say we're excited to begin working with you. And then I guess we're going to move in, and Ms. Brissette. Oh, am I doing this part as well? Is this me?
It's up to you. I can do it if you'd like me to.
I'll let you do it.
Okay. So today we're going to learn how to log into your account, create accounts for your learners, add your group's identification tag to each learner account, and complete pre-assessments. And we'll actually cover a little bit, a few more things than that, but that's basically the high points. On the left side, I put a link to it's to our website on our library website, and the left side highlighted in yellow is information which includes the recordings of these. So let me move on. So the administrator for your site, which the sites are the St. Croix Library, St. Thomas Library, and Julius C. Sprov School, will add you as a proctor. And I believe that most of you have already been added. If you haven't been added, then we need to make sure that that happens. So you have to pass the proctor training. You receive an email, and you can't get your PIN, which will allow you to add your learners until you pass the proctor training. I took it yesterday, failed it the first time, and passed it the second. They show you which questions you got wrong, and you can pretty well go back, and if you have to do a fast review, just run through it. As long as you click on each thing they want you to click on, they'll move you through the test. So you will get a PIN. So the proctor training takes about 15 minutes, and I timed myself, and that was about correct. And all our proctors, we'd like to have all the proctors complete their training by April 9. So each partner will receive a tag to identify your group. So obviously, if you're a St. Croix group, STX is going to be the beginning of your tag, St. Thomas STT, and St. John STJ. And here are the tags. So if you want to write this down, that's fine, but you'll have a copy of this video, and Nicole can also attach the PowerPoint to an email to you. Whichever way you want it, maybe we'll do both. So for instance, I'm going to go with the St. Thomas tags. You can see that each group, your tag is first, the colon's not included, obviously, and then the name of the group. And the testing sites are at the bottom, the Melvin H. Evans Library on the UVI campus, the Ralph M. Paiwansky Library here on the St. Thomas campus, and Julius E. Sprov School in St. John. So you will create accounts for all of your participants. And I'd like to remind everyone that you are required to have 20 total participants. You don't have to have any more, but we do need you to have 20. So All participants have to have a learner account, and I'd like to mention that North Star recommends that all proctors have a learning account. So I am also going to establish a learning account. Your participants should bookmark the link to your site, and when we do the live training, which will go live in just a minute, you'll see that that's readily available. If they don't bookmark the link to your site, they've got to sign into the site to get credit. You have to have them sign in for you to get credit for them. And so when you're creating your accounts for your learners, make sure you add the tag, and I'll also show you that. If you watched the video that we sent, the North Star, getting to know about North Star videos, you already have an idea about this, and we'll do this live so you're more comfortable with it. So the information that you need to create your learner account is really simple. First and last name, email address, and the tag for your group. But if the learner, because you're going to, I have a feeling, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that you'll probably encounter a lot of learners at different levels. And so if you have a learner that doesn't have an email, we're asking that you use this as an instructional opportunity to help them create a professional email address with a secure password. So if I'm doing this with a student at UVI, say we have a freshman student who comes in, they already have their, it would be like Kayla.Andrews, my example, at students at uvi.edu. But the I Love Volleyball 22 exclamation point, that is to give them an example of how to personalize it. I think experts recommend that you use a phrase, something that you alone may know about yourself. That's probably, if you like volleyball, a lot of people know that. But the uppercase, lowercase letters, number, and a course symbol. So completing the pre-assessments. So here's the good news. You do not have to proctor your pre-assessment. Your pre-assessments. What we're using the pre-assessment for is to determine what kind of instruction your learners need. And each participant has to log on, they must log on to digitalliteracyassessment.org, and we'll do that in a minute to take it. If you're concerned about your learners, that they may not even be able to do that, then you should set up a proctoring session. If you're not sure if your learners are ready to start learning, they provide a set of resources, which includes Screener. We will look at these things so you can actually see them. And again, you're hearing this probably for the second time if you watched the North Star video. The Screener is located up with the resources tab at the top of the page, and we'll look at that. It'll be easier if we just take a look at it. So your first pre-assessment is basic computer skills, and the first module, that's the first module under essential computer skills. So North Star recommends the following, and we're going to follow their protocol. The pre-assessment, again, which does not have to be proctored. The instruction, and the instruction can be self-directed because I'm going to identify in this PowerPoint for you the modules that are self-directed. However, if you had a really active learner and they were moving quickly, you may want to offer individual or group instruction if you had a group that was quick. And then of course the post-assessment, and it's really important that that is proctored. So you want them to use Chrome, that's the recommended browser. You can't, your learners can only try this two tries per day. And the reason, of course, is they want you to do the instruction. They want the learner to either do the self-directed or the proctor-led learning. And we want you to use the modules that have self-directed learning, and I'll identify those in just a moment. Just like what I have on here, you're going to need a microphone if you're proctoring more than one student. And to receive a certificate for a module, they have to get an 85 on a proctored post-assessment. So the learner can download and print the certificate, but it won't have the proctor's signature, and of course, it won't be certified. So, they need those certified proctor signed certificates. And those can be printed. If you have any difficulty, the libraries can print them for you. I'm speaking out of turn for Julius Sprague, but I'm assuming they can do that. We at the 2 university libraries can definitely do that for you. So I want to identify the modules that have self-directed learning to give you a step-by-step in case you have really quick learners or as you move through it. So the ones that are currently available, and they're working on more, they're working on Excel right now. If you watch the video, you know that already, are the basic computer skills. That's where they're going to start. Internet basics, using email, Windows, Microsoft Word, and career search skills. So these are the 6 that have the self-directed learning, but you'll have to keep in mind where your learner is at, because they may not be able to do that self-directed learning and will need either one-on-one or group instruction. So if you need help, we want you to contact the administrator at your site. And the administrator on St. Croix is Elroy Richard, the campus librarian, and his email is there. And Janice Simon, who's on with us right now. And I gave a reference desk number because sometimes we're all over the place, and it's good to have one phone number that you can ask for us, and they'll either transfer you or they'll get a message, or you can simply email them. In St. Thomas, our library manager, Nicole Hatfield, is the administrator, and myself, and the reference desk number is right there. And St. John is the principal of Julius E. Sprague School, Mrs. Michelle Rogers Bully, and that's the Sprague School number. And Sean Brooks, who you will contact the St. Thomas reference desk to reach him or email him. Okay. And I think that just about does it. So I'm going to stop sharing. Nicole, you want to add anything?
Sure. Just 2 things. If you can always, so Miss Brissette, Miss Simon, and I are going to be the faces that you see most often. So if please, even if you're not on our respective islands, feel free to email or call any of us. I do a lot of virtual, so I can help anyone anywhere. And also at some point today, Ms. Brissette, we should show them the library website, because the UVI virtual help desk is also open to them. So if they need help right away, they can use our help desk features.
Let's go back to that PowerPoint and show them how they can go. Well, I think I better go in and do it from the homepage.
Okay.
You want me to do that now with them?
Sure.
Okay,
Whichever.
let me do that now. So let me find one where I can get to. Let's hope this doesn't show anything I don't want shown. And let's see if I can get, good. My calendar, I think, whoops. Let me see if I can get this to go up again. All right, I'll go into North Star here. We'll come back to this. This is the landing page for digitalliteracyassessment.org, the North Star homepage. So I'm going to just change this real quick to library.uvi.edu. This is direct to our website, our homepage. And so here now you can see that there's a chat box down here in the right-hand side. So all you would have to do is click on the chat now, and you'll see you'd put in your name, and your contact information would be your email in case we got disconnected, and your affiliation with UVI. Nicole, do you know if they've added in public? Are we going to add in for the grant, or will they just come in as public?
I think it's a good idea to add an option for the grant. I will work on that tomorrow. So it'll say something like community collaboration member, community partner. How about community partner?
Yeah, community partner sounds really good. And so then you choose the department you want. So this IT help desk is what will get you technical help, but also you can ask a librarian. Everyone is familiar with the grant, and all of us are more than willing to help. And I want to reiterate what Nicole said, that Nicole and myself and Ms. Janice Simon, we're here for you. It doesn't matter which is your site, whether it's St. Croix, St. Thomas, or Julius Sprague. So down on this side, of course, is where the link is for the USVI. Do you want me to click on that, Nicole, so they can see it? Okay, so if I click on that, you'll see that you can, here's our collaboration with our partners. I'm clicking no thanks to get rid of that. And then you can see our meetings with a click here. So Nicole will add this to it and you'll be able to access what we're doing right now. Would you like me to go into the digital literacy and show them around? Okay, great. So we're going to go to, and again, it's just digitalliteracyassessment.org. And I'm going to log in. I may have to move my little screen here to log in. And I'm already, I saved it. I'm a little lazy, so I'm going to log in. And so you can see now I did my proctor test. So I have my proctor pin and they're going to let you know that you want it to be kept in a private location. You're also going to have your location and your instructions. You enter your pin on the home page and here's your link that you can just, your learners can bookmark so that they don't have any problems getting to the right area. And I'm going to just go up to the learners now, show you around a little bit. So remember that we invited you as proctors. So you'll see, now here's Mr. Elliott with his pen. Miss Hippolyte, 2 hours ago, I've got to add a pen to you. I'll do that. I'm so glad to see that you're in. Miss Jennings with her pen. And some of these are our librarians and our technicians, and we'll get pins for them. Here's Mr. Roberts Fernisky, Ms. Stewart for that's Family Resource Center. This is a St. Thomas that I'm showing you, and Devontae Xavier. Now, when you start to create you're not going to see other partners, you're going to see your learners. Your learners will be listed here. So you'll be able, if you remember your training, it'll show you what you've attempted to do. So I'm going to just show you. No, that's usage amounts. I don't want to show you that. So when you invite your new learner, it'll look like this. So you'll just put in the first name and last name, the email, and remember we talked about you may be able to use that as an instructional opportunity if they don't have an email by providing them with a professional email and a secure password, and you'll enter the tag. And once you click invite learner, they will get that email. Now, if they're not familiar with email, let's say you've set up that email for them, then you may well have to resend it, and you can resend it. Let me see if I can go back this way. If I can't, I can play around here a little bit and get back, I think. Let me go back here. Okay, so over here, I can edit. I can add tags. I can, and also once, let's see if I can, you can do different things, and that includes resending. I think everybody here has probably passed their proctor because I'm looking for someone that I could send it again to, but you will be able to do that in this area with your learners. What I would suggest to you, and this is straight off the video, if you have to resend it with them there so that you can go into the email with them. They might be having trouble logging into their email, and you can find that email that was sent by North Star to them so they can get started. So that's a little bit about the learners. The assessments, this will talk about proctoring. And again, I want to remind you that the pre-assessment, you do not have to proctor that. Now, if you want to, that's fine. But the one that we're concerned about is after the instruction, the post-assessment. And this gives a lot of information here. Again, my proctor pin is here and yours will be too. And it talks about, you can see your proctored only results, passing only, proctored and passed. So you'll be able to keep track of your learners, okay? And one more thing I'd like to share with you, and then I'm going to come out and if Nicole or Miss Simon, Janice wants to share anything. So resources, the resources is really great. They have a lot of information here, including the curriculum. So let's say that your module, all of your learners are having a hard time. Well, if you remember your video, I hope you watched your video. Let me just show you, like, let's say your basic computer skills that you just did. This gives you your information about the scope and sequence. I'm going to click on that so you can see this. So here it talks about the module, basic computer skills, the skills that the learner practices, the learning outcomes we're looking for, the literacy standards, specific vocabulary, and then of course, here's our lesson outline and standards address if you need to do some instruction for that particular person. I think I have to go back. Let's see. Let me go back this way. Here we go. Okay, so there's other resources, but I'm going to be honest, they pretty well have everything together for these. Let me check on them and see if there's anything I want to share here. There's some posters here. So if you wanted to print out some posters, there's the updated standards. As you know, this is a standard-based assessment, codes of conduct, which if you did your proctor training, you know about that already. External resources, I went into that. They weren't particularly useful, but you might want to do it. They have so much already here, and you can see different things that they have. Now, the reason that I wanted to go into these other resources is, let's say that you have several students that just fail and you're just not sure why that they failed. Well, they have provided screeners for you. And the screeners are a really quick way to figure out what's going on. Is this a language problem? Is this somebody who knows nothing about computers? And it tells you that the basic screener here is better for use with large groups and the interactive screener for one-to-one situations. So this is the basic screener. You print this out and they just circle, they match. And if you had a student who had limited English, of course, you could read it, or if you can identify someone who can speak their language fluently, you could ask them to do it in their language. Currently, North Star is working on a Spanish version. They're constantly evolving. That's what I like about North Star. They're not sitting still. They're moving forward with a lot of different things. So this is that individual screener. And again, this is pencil and paper. And then there's also an interactive one for one-on-one situations. And this is, you go ahead and you shut off the computer. You put them on a computer. Remember that they're working on the mobile versions for North Star and the tablet versions, but currently it's laptop or desktop. You're not going to get the full experience otherwise. And so you actually shut it off and then you ask them, is this a desktop computer or a laptop? And then it just, please point to it. So this is the interactive pre-test that you could use with someone that you're just not sure what issues they're having. And if you talk them through it, can they do it? So let me come out of here now. I'm going to stop sharing, Nicole. Is there anything else that you would like to share or Janice would like to share?
Might be a good time to pause for questions first before we sort of review. What did we do too quickly? What kind of questions do you all have?
I have a question. Were we supposed to complete the proctor before this assessment?
That's a good question. You could have, you don't have to. It's your next step. We were hoping that you had watched the North Star video. If you haven't done that at all, that's wonderful.
But I didn't know I needed to complete the proctor.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So that's the next step, to complete the proctor training once you've watched the North Star video. Most of this should hopefully be reviewed for everyone if you've watched the video. If you haven't yet watched the video.
I have.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you. Mhm.
And remember, you have until we're hoping that everyone can complete their proctor test by April 9th. So
I-
you're
I
not
remember.
behind at all. You're right on target.
Okay.
I just want you to know that you are not alone and we are here to support you. If you have any questions or concern, and just pick up the phone and call one of us, regardless of which island we are at, we will provide that support that you need. And also, if let's say by chance, because we have too much a website that we are dealing with, we don't know how, or we can't remember the website, you could also Google it, because I was trying to figure out of other ways for someone who really don't know the computer, but of course they know how to get onto the internet. How can they just get onto the internet and get to North Star? You can Google it as well, and you'll be able to just click on it. It'll come up in the tabs, North Star assessment. It comes up in the tab. You could click on it from there, and you will be fine. And again, we are here, so to give you support every step of the way.
Perfect. Ms. Hippolyte, do you have a question?
Yes, when I logged in just now, and I think it has to do with me not being assigned to whatever site or location. But when I clicked on learners, it gave me an error message. I guess that's why that's happening. Because I like to follow along, so I was in this while Ms. Brissette was talking, and it gave me that error message. So I was wondering why it gave me that.
I think that's our fault. And we were moving you around. We had you in the wrong spot. So we are
Yes.
going to try to correct that tomorrow. Now, I hate to say this, Miss Hippolyte, you might have to take that proctor training one more time, but you could just click through it, answer the questions, because we were trying to transfer you, because you're St. Thomas, right? You're Nitsky, correct?
Yes.
And so we were trying to transfer you because we had you in St. Croix. And I think that I'm gonna put the blame where it belongs right here. I think I clicked as you were testing. I think I clicked to take you to, I forget what I was trying to do, but anyway, I'm learning this too, Miss Hippolyte. So
That's what
we're all learning. So I apologize for that. I knew that was going to be a problem, and we'll try to correct that. I'm not going to try to correct it tonight. I need to be fresh.
Okay, I think I just added your tag, so maybe go back in and see if that worked. And I think it was really my error because I added you to St. Croix and then I had you confused with some anyways, so. But try
But Miss Hippolyte, thank you for your patience. We're going to get it straight.
That's not a problem.
We're all learning. We're all learning. So the next steps are,
Devontae has a hand up.
ask away, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just was inquiring about the proctor. How do you go about with taking a test?
Miss Simon, can you show them how to proctor? Was that, or do you want Miss Brissette to do it? Or how to take the test, the proctor test?
How you take the proctoring test itself, or how to take an assessment?
I think it was how to, go ahead and answer it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was talking about taking the test because I didn't know we had to take a test, so that's why.
The proctoring test, okay.
Devontae, did you get the email? Because there's you're going to receive an email that will give you the link that you need to get started. If I remember correctly, I did it yesterday.
Let me see. Let me go into
You should have received the email. Yes.
When you click on that email, it's going to take you directly to the test. But if anything, what Ms. Brissette can do is we send you the email.
Sure. I'll be, and again, I'm going to do those fresh tomorrow morning.
As you click on it, it's going to take you straight to the test.
Okay.
The practice test.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Devontae.
No problem.
Okay. So that's the first next step, is to take the proctoring exam and get yourself added as a proctor. The second step would be to start adding your learners. into the system and then getting them to take the first assessment. And I think we're hoping to have, it's not even the first assessment, it's the pre-assessment for the basic computer skills. And I think we're hoping to have that done by the end of April. We'll send out an exact date for finishing that. But I think Ms. Brissette and Ms. Simon, it was towards the end of April to get all of your, to get your proctor tests taken, to get your learners added, and to get those pre-assessments done. And remember, you don't have to proctor the pre-assessments. They can just take those. The difference between a proctored test and a non-proctored test, I know Ms. Brissette went over this, but I think it's good to remember, is that if they take a proctored test, they earn a certificate. And some of those certificates might be useful for when they're looking for jobs or when they're putting together portfolios and things like that. So we want to make sure that that's an option. So those are the three really next steps that you need to do. We are working on getting computers and computer labs for those of you who don't have access to labs or computers for your community groups. And that will come out in a separate email, sort of communicating directly with either me, Ms. Brissette, or Ms. Simon, and getting some computers for your students. We looked into the tablets that we do have at the universities, and the issue was the tablets don't work well with the tests. Maybe about 80% of the tests can be done on a tablet, but that extra 20% means that you sort of fail every time because you can't answer some of the questions. So we want to make sure we get them on either laptops or computers, desktop computers. So that'll come out in the next email, but we are working on that for those who need it. I feel like there's one other thing I wanted to say, but now I've forgotten what it is. Any other questions about that, where we're working
I
toward?
must
Oh,
say something though, depending on your population that you're working with, because you know, some may have a job, some may not. As Ms. Nicole just mentioned, that the certificate, if it's proctored, the certificate can help them along the way. And I could attest for that, because when I started in education, some little classes that I went into, and I had a choice whether or not I want a certificate or not. It's just that you can still take the same assessment. So I vouched to take the one that, you know what, I will get a certificate. And those same certificate, I used them to get myself into the door when I first started way back looking for my career. So that is an important conversation. I suggest that I highly recommend that you have with the individuals that are going to be participating in this. Some may need it, some may not, but just open the option to all.
And I just want to mention that every post-assessment has to be proctored. So there's not much choice about this, so may as well just go ahead and print out the certificates. And if you have problems with printing, just let us know. We can help with that.
Is there a limit on age? I mean, how young can proceed?
Ms. Jennings, it's for adult learners. However, you know, at some point here, I would say 18 and over at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you.
By the way, that's one of the questions.
Is that the only criteria? Is that
I'm
the
sorry.
only criteria age?
The criteria should be 18 or older at this time.
Right.
I
is
don't
that
think
the
we-
only criteria.
yeah, I think so. I mean, they have to be members of the VI community. We're not opening it up,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
but-
yes.
mhm.
So
Um,
if you if you had, your group could be very diverse, you know, and my feeling is the more the merrier. I mean, we just, you know, we have to stick by what North Star is setting us up. So if those of you that already took the proctor test, you know that was one of your first questions, was what learners North Star caters to, which is adult learners. But you know, it could be somebody my age who has never had the opportunity to learn about computers. It's going to change their life. Can you imagine? I mean, like my mother, if my mother had been blessed to learn what our learners are going to have an opportunity to learn. It would have really made a difference in her life. That ability to communicate in a way that, you know, they don't know how to communicate in. You know, so the digital, it's great to be a digital native like Devontae, because I know he's a digital native, but I think a lot of our students, our participants, our learners are going to be digital immigrants, and they're going to reap great rewards from this program. We're really giving them a gift.
Other questions or comments? So again, you should have received an email from North Star to set up your proctoring, your proctoring test. Also, at the end of February, I sent an email to all of the advisory committee members with posters to advertise to your community. If you'd like me to personalize the poster more with a name, a phone number, or an email address, just send me a quick email and let me know, and I can personalize your poster further. But again, like I said, we're all available for questions, for help. I'll send out an email that has a link to our website once I get this recording uploaded, and so that way you can ask us any questions that you might have. But I think that's it, getting us going. We have sort of three jobs for our next steps: take the proctoring test, add the learners, and get the learners to take that first pre-assessment. And that's it. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to stop recording now.